Already off to a good start. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Learn with Jason. Today on the show, we're bringing back anthropomorphized sunshine, Prince Wilson. How you doing, Prince?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you for the sub, Ben. So, Prince, I've said this many times before. I'm going to say it again. You are one of my all-time favorite people. Every time I hang out with you, I feel like I leave with a bigger smile than I walked in with. And I am just super excited to be hanging out with you again on the show. For those of us who are not familiar with you, can you give us a little bit of a background?
Yeah, I am a web application developer at a company called Musella, where we help students from grades 3 through 12 be able to read articles that are about current events. So things like that happening in the world, things can be anything from like the latest news to also things about like how is video games shaping our interactions while we're in the pandemic, which is definitely a topic that kids really like to know about, is to know how video games work, which is very fun. They very much like video games.
Yeah. Well, and so you also stream, right?
Yes.
Let's do the, I have a shout out command and it sometimes works. Let's try it. We're going to go. What is your, why?
Oh, so Maxell with a W, Maxcellw.
Why isn't that showing up in my thing? Oh, there it goes. I don't know. Like,
that's me.
It was like not giving me the, whatever. It's, it usually auto completes. Nikki, I see what you're doing. Let's not troll Jason, Agatha wink. Hurtful. It's all hurtful. You hurt me, chat. Okay, so one of the things that you've been doing while streaming, you're kind of all over the place, right? Because you've been doing, you work in web dev during the day. You've been streaming a lot of Rust stuff. You were actually on the show before to teach us Rust, which was just an absolute blast. What else have you been working on lately? And I feel like that's relevant to today.
Yeah, so recently, or I guess like in the last bit ago, I was working on some interactions with my lights. So I have these Nanoleaf lights behind me. And so on my Twitch chat, when I have people like spend channel points or do they do any subscriptions, the lights actually change. And so that was a big part of what I was doing back in January, is just learning how how networks work, and also like how does the Twitch API work? And man, is it ever changing.
So hold on. That means if wait, does it work now? Like, oh no,
it doesn't work now.
Dang it. I was going to go start changing the colors on your lights.
I wanted to make sure. So one of the big things is like, I realized after the fact, when I figured out how to get it all working, is I didn't have a mechanism to stop it from working. For instance, when I'm not streaming, I don't want y'all to turn on my lights. So I figured out that part. So that way no one can turn on my lights when I'm not streaming.
Yeah. Someday I'm going to have to learn from you about setting boundaries. So today we're going to play with some of the similar APIs. Specifically, we were going to look at the EventSub API, right?
Yes.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit about what that API is and how it works?
Yeah, so I think like to kind of give some background for everyone. So the Twitch API primarily, like, it works similar to what you've been using before, which is to, you make a request to a particular service of Twitch's, and it says, cool, give me some data back directly then and there. Whereas something like the EventSub is more so I'm saying whenever an event fires inside of Twitch, send some sort of event to this particular location. And I will have some endpoint that's actually going to be listening for that data to come through. And so like, that's kind of like the difference between everything, as opposed to like, I'm requesting data, it's actually sending me data.
That's really nice. And the event model is one of my favorites, because I love this idea of being able to not have to like actively go out and seek things. It always feels really wasteful if I'm running something on a loop and 99% of the time it's like, nah, nothing happened.
Exactly.
So I like that idea of kind of on-demand work. And also, Ben, I see what you do. Real-time boundary setting for people who are very online with Prince Wilson. That is exactly what's happening today. And thank you very much for the sub. I want to say this with an Italian accent. Is that a problem? Is that problematic? Bestiaccio.
Let's not.
Thank you very much for the sub. I very much appreciate it. And today is going to be a fun day to sub because once we get this working, you will be able to trigger thingies on the screen. We're not sure what those thingies are yet, but we're really excited about them. So this is kind of a cool. So the event sub, it works for more than just subscriptions, right? The sub is not like Twitch subscriptions. It's like a subscription to events, and those events can be multiple types, right?
Yes, exactly. And I think that's like a big thing to talk about too, right? It's like when we say like the term subscription, we're not just talking about like Twitch subscription. We're talking about listening for specific events. These can be things from subscriptions. They can be, you know, people following, hype trains, the raids, any kind of events that Twitch affords you or has the ability to share with you. And that's almost their entire API of like things that you're already doing on Twitch that's used to power a lot of the interactions that you're already doing.
Nice. That's really great. And it should make things a little bit easier because before what I was doing for subscriptions is I was like parsing the IRC stream and you can do that. It's fine.
Yeah.
But this should make my life a lot easier because it doesn't have to be hard, right? Like I think
exactly.
Maybe that's the mantra for today. It doesn't have to be hard.
And that's like the beauty of like our programming, right? Like the goal of programming is not to just like leave everything convoluted, make it very like rubber band and like tape put together kind of things. It's to make it so that way you have things that you can do for later on. The event sub is kind of like a second iteration of their like process with regards to being able to say like, cool, we don't want to use just webhooks. We want you to determine like whatever kind of model you want to have. So that also affords you the ability to do things like pub sub events. So if you were like, I don't want to do webhooks, you can also do other types of things like subscriptions. That's
really fun. Okay, so maybe this is a good time to switch over. We can actually start looking at some things. So let me flip us over into pair programming view. And before we get too deep into here, a couple quick reminders. First and foremost, if you are not following Prince already, go follow him now. If you're not following Prince by the end of this episode, I will find you. In addition to that, we have a new. We've got live captioning today, and we have. Oh no! Calm it on down there. Okay, so we have live captioning today. So we've got Rachel with us today doing live captioning. Thank you so much, Rachel, for being here, making the show more accessible for everybody. That means a lot. That comes from White Coat Captioning. White Coat Captioning is here with us every week, and that is made possible through the generous support of our sponsors. Netlify, Fauna, Auth0, and Hasura all kick in to make this show more accessible. That's a very nice thing. I like that a lot. So make sure you head over
all of them
to the homepage. You can go follow the homepage. James, that's not the intended. He's like, I unfollowed Prince, so you'll show up at my house. Hold on, no, it's not how this works. No. But head over to the homepage. That's where the live captioning is. You can also, any of these links are clickable, so you can jump over and check out those sponsors. So with that, Prince, if we want to get started, where is the best place to get started?
Let's go into the event sub documentation first. So that way we kind of see like, cool, like these are the things that we can do, and then go from there.
I have a confession to make. I don't know if you'll notice this. I switched to Edge yesterday. I don't even know how I feel about it. Like I feel weird. Did something just go like super weird with my overlays? Did y'all see that?
They're like something with the submarine. I think the submarine may have caused some issues. I don't know what that was, but for some reason there was a big old party corgi. Maybe it just wasn't loading. Okay, everything seems to be working. Sound's back too. I got that fixed. That was broken on Tuesday. I didn't do anything. I just waited. Do I feel on the edge? I do feel on the edge. So the side tabs. Here's what I've decided. The top tabs are great. They're not bad. But here's what I like about this. I like that they're mostly out of the way, and I really like the sleeping tabs. That is very nice. Yeah. Okay. All right. This is gonna feel like the time when people were like, wait, why is your like file explorer on the right hand side as opposed to the left hand side? Like, this is what it's going to come down to.
That's really where I'm at, right? I know that people don't like my file explorer on the right hand side, but I swear by it. Being able to pop that drawer open and close without jumping the code around, game changer. All right, so back to the scheduled program. Here's the event sub. So looking at this, we've got let's see. Long term, our plan is, so this is TwitchDev, a little feedback. This does not inspire confidence. Okay, so let me tell you what was supposed to happen.
I'm sorry. We're just two people who like to laugh a lot. This is not.
Okay, all right. Whew. All right, here we go. I'm paying attention now. All right. I'm ready and I'm paying attention to you. What should I do next?
Okay. So, sorry.
I'm sure there was something I was supposed to be doing that I've completely gone off the rails about.
I'm a contagious laugher, so once you started, I'm not able to stop.
I'm sorry. Also, I just remembered we have a new sound effect that I think it was maybe Linda.
All right, I think
so here's
adult supervision.
I have to go find this because I think I need to merge it. Hold please. What's the website? This is my website. I have a pull request. Look for new commands from Linda. Thank you, Linda.
Oh, amazing.
And
I love that. We're here for it.
We're going to confirm that squash and merge. So give that a couple minutes and then you're going to be able to run Jamstack and You Matter.
Wait, can you do it like live? Like while we're on the show?
It honestly should be like as soon as this finishes building. So if we go to app.netlify.com, it should be building right now. Also, did y'all see Netlify stories yet?
Oh my God, I am here for it. Noodle is my favorite.
Noodle is pretty great. Here, let me move the sound over so that y'all can hear this, and we will listen to one of these because these are great. I think this is going to be a strong feature. I hope that y'all are getting ready to make your own Netlify stories. But here's Noodle. Anyways, these are great. You should definitely go and check out Netlify stories. It is the hot new feature from Netlify. Let me drop a link. Y'all go check this out. But okay, cool. So go check that out. That's fun. But let's look at Learn with Jason here, and it's building. So basically, as soon as this finishes building, which should be any second now. Uh-oh, that looks like an error. Is that an error, or is it just making noises?
It looks like a warning. Oh. This is just a suggestion.
That's fine. That's fine. We're okay with that. Oh, this is the lighthouse stuff. Let's see. Is my site still fast? Oh, shoot. What did I do? I did something bad. I'll go fix that later. But in the meantime, that's now merged. So you should, without any changes, somebody run Jamstack. Linda, you want to do the honors? Oh, Nikki's got it. Did it work? Is it going to do it? Do I have to I shouldn't have to reload. It should just work. Come on. Come on. Do the thing.
You hackers. You dirty hackers.
Oh no, maybe I have to. But it's live now. It's live. I said do the thing. Turn it off and on again.
Do we turn it off and on again? Is this where we're going?
We shouldn't have to turn it off and on again, but I guess we can. Let's reload the thing. I want this to work. I'm really excited about it.
I'm here for it. This is all connected, right? It's all about Twitch stuff. So I'm here for it.
Exactly. Okay, somebody try it again. Give me a Jamstack. No, why are you like this? Do I need to reload in Streamblitz or something? Let's see. Streamblitz.com. Does this website still work? Let's find out. Oh God.
Let's throw that somewhere else.
Yeah, let me get this off screen and then we're gonna do that and then oh geez. Get out of here. Killing me. All right. Okay, maybe this isn't the best use of our time. Maybe I should fix this on my own time. What do you think?
We can come back to it.
Yeah, let's come back to it. I'm not gonna do this right now. At some point in the future, we should be able to get that working. It'll happen eventually, someday.
We're here for it still.
But yeah, so I did just refresh the overlays, and that doesn't appear to be working. So my assumption is I broke something, which seems to be the most likely outcome of what's going on here. But I am very excited about it because these are very funny. Like this is just, I'm ready for these.
Oh my God, I'm so ready.
Okay, so looking at EventSub, so EventSub is a subscription, and these are the events that we can subscribe to now.
Yes.
Okay. So gone online. Ooh, that's a useful one because right now I just run it on a timer. Should probably make that better. New follower, new subscriber, cheers, and channel points. Channel points is exciting. I don't use channel points right now, and I really need to, because I just haven't even looked at them yet.
There's such a slew of different like things you can be doing as far as the Twitch API. If you go to the left-hand side, you'll see like it says EventSub guide, and then it says also subscription types. So we can actually take a look specifically into the subscription types that we're doing. So this is the entire list of all things that you can use right now with the EventSub.
Oh, we got raids, bans, unbans. This is not funny, but there's a part of me that wants like a ban subscription, so like a hammer, just ban hammer, and just like pow whenever you ban somebody from the channel. I won't do that. We don't need to give those trolls any attention. True. Moderators, custom point. Okay, so any one of these things, I can get notified when they happen to any service of my choosing.
Yes.
Ooh, that's exciting. That's really exciting. Okay, so let's do this. Let's figure out how we want to build one of these. So what do you think is the easiest way if we just want to get the proof of concept in here? Like, how should I just stand up a quick HTML page? Should I, should we hook up somewhere else? Like, what do you think the easiest way is to start?
I think like a basic HTML page would be fine. Like something like that could be helpful. We can even take it a step like back. So one thing to note is like we're listening for like webhooks. So we're going to have something that's going to be listening for events coming to us at some point as well. Mm-hmm. So like in like the case of, let's say we have a subscription, we need something to be able to be listening for a request, something like you can make it even like a netlify function that's just going to be able to, so it can take in the data. Okay. And you can do anything with it. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Something to take in the data and then we can do anything with it. So it needs to be able to listen. And then to get it to a front end, we need some kind of a transport layer for that. So what would the easiest thing to do here be? I feel like maybe, is there a service that does this? Because a netlify function would listen, but then we'd have to like the front end would still have to poll to go get whether or not data came in. So we need like a WebSockets or GraphQL subscriptions or something like that.
Maybe we just do something with like a netlify function, so we can at least say we get the data, and then we can go from there. Like that probably would be the easiest.
That makes sense. Let's do that. So here's what I will do. I will npm init yes. Okay, and then what I can do is I can open this thing up. And where's my code editor gonna go? Hello, here you are. Okay, so in here we've got just the package JSON right now. There's not anything in it, so we can leave that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the new netlify functions hello, or let's call this Twitch subscription.js. So that'll this is what will be called, and then I'm going to exports handler. That'll be an async function, or I don't even need to do that. I can just do it this way, and we'll get the. For right now, we won't do anything. We'll just do a status code of 200 and a body of OK, so that we can check whether or not this is working. and then I
Perfect.
should
This
be
is
able to
like
just...
my exact process of things is just make it work first and then like take it steps further from there.
This is kind of like I just have to work this way, because otherwise I'm like, okay, we just did 8 things. Which one of them broke?
Exactly.
So what I should be able to do now is go to Netlify functions and Twitch subscription, and it says, okay, perfect. All right, so a couple things just happened that may have seemed like magic because I went very fast. So to just call those out, I set up a new package.json using a CLI command. I ran npm init y. And what the -y means is it just accepts all the defaults, which is like the folder name and version 1.0 and stuff like that. Then I used VS Code's built-in code command, and then I ran netlify dev. So this is the netlify CLI, and that opens up netlify dev. And because I have a folder called, or I guess 2 folders, netlify/functions, and then inside I had a function, it knew to pick that up and run it. So netlify kind of, you don't have to configure that anymore. You can just drop them in and they work. And that lets us run this locally.
Very neat. Very neat.
That is, what was that? 1 minute to serverless functions, local dev. And now I'm ready. I'm ready to go on to the next thing. Because so far we haven't done anything with Twitch yet. We've just kind of set up a little basic friend.
Excuse me. So one of the things that we could be doing from this point forward is then being able to say like, inside of the event, we're going to be structuring like what happens when we receive an event from Twitch. So inside of here, we're going to know if we're receiving something from Twitch because there will be a few headers that are going to be coming our way. Specifically, there is one that's going to be the Twitch -EventSub -message -type. Whew, so many things.
Okay, so it'll be headers, Twitch, EventSub.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Type?
Message
and type.
Then -type. One thing I noticed with at least Netlify, and I don't know if this is true, you could correct me on this, is even though I expected them to be like capital case, they all came out lowercase. And I don't know if that's a Netlify thing where it like messes with like the casing.
I wonder if it does. We do a little bit of processing, and so we might do that in the name of normalization. So let me...
Yeah, so we'll just do all lowercase of that. Do you have a fancy smancy thing to just lower?
It's just built. It's built into VS Code. You can do. I just did Command-Shift-P to open up this command panel, and then you can do lowercase, uppercase, and title case. It's
wow! I
it's
had
really
no idea
useful.
that was a thing. That definitely is very neat.
Adrian in the chat is saying it's an AWS thing to lowercase all the header names.
Interesting. I had no idea, but today we learned. So the thing that it's going to be doing in specifically this particular header is we're going to get the message type. It's going to be equal to our notification, meaning that like we've received something from Twitch as opposed to it doing something like checking whether or not our hook is available. So like there's kind of 2 steps that happen. One is check, does this Twitch hook actually exist? And then the second step is, now that we know that it exists, also make sure that it like is valid. It is a correct notification being sent. That's what we're going to be doing. So we'll make a little check and basically be like, is it notifications?
Okay, so I'm doing a little bit of like defaulting here, so that if we run this locally, because it's still running locally, right? So if I go out here and I refresh, it won't fail now if we don't actually have a type.
Ooh,
and I'm doing
I like
that only for the sake of like, honestly, if we don't get a type, we probably want to throw an error. But for the sake of development, I want to make sure that we don't get failure. So I'm defaulting headers to an array and then doing this. This is nullish coalescing, is what this feature is called, and it's a double ASCII boy.
Double
Is that, or can we make that work? Or like curly boys and square boys, can we call these ASCII boys? Is that, that's not going to fly, is it? That's
I'm curious. I have so many questions, Jason. Every time I just come up with more things of how it all happens. But I like it. We're gonna make them the ASCII boys.
Yeah, I find that that's most people's experience with me, is that they meet me, and then as our relationship grows, they're like, I just have more questions.
It's fine. It's fine.
Will that work with Netlify functions? Yes, if I update to the right node version. So which node version am I in? I'm running 14, which is working. So in order to make this work, what I'll have to do is node v into nvm-rc.
Perfect.
And now Netlify will pick this up and use the right version of node. So
I'm just learning all little things right now.
It's little totally stuff right
right? Yeah.
Would a logical work? I mean, you could do this as a ternary. You could do this as an if else. Yeah, I mean, there's a million ways you could do this. I'm using the new hotness because they're very.
We're here for it.
Yeah, like when do I get to talk about nullish coalescing? Except if I'm in a room full of nerds, huh? Functions do pick up. Ooh, yes. Functions should pick up NV. We're gonna find out when I deploy this. Eco.
Wait, can we just wait? Now we're just doing things that I'm like, I don't know if this can actually work.
I don't know. Let's find out. Let's set this up and deploy it. No, I will connect this with. Okay, so GitHub repo create learn with JSON Twitch EventSub. It's going to be public. Yes. Yes. Okay. So then I can git push and we'll do an upstream, or I need to add everything, don't I? Git add everything. And then I can git commit am pushing buttons to see if it works. Okay. Then, thanks to this handy little shortcut that I believe Chris Biscardi showed me, now I can click that, and it opened up in the wrong window, so I'll just copy paste this instead.
Oh, because it's github.com and it just works.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
It's an alias. We're going with power workflows over here.
Efficiency, truly.
So that's all working. So then I can, or let me drop this in the chat for y'all. And then I can netlify init, and we will create a new site. Put it on my team. We'll call this Twitch EventSub. Hopefully that's not taken. It's not. Perfect. Okay. I don't have a build command, so I'll leave that blank. I don't really need to deploy anything on the front end, so I'm going to leave that blank. My netlify functions folder is there. And let's just not have a... Yeah, we're happy. Look at it go. All right, so here we go with our function is all set up now, and it should be deploying. So if I go out here, we should see this thing built in a few seconds here. Okay, so it's built, and so now let's go see if we're right, and the MVMRC does what I want. So that doesn't work because there's no home page, but we'll go to netlify functions, Twitch subscription.
Twitch subscription?
No, Eco, you were right. It doesn't support that version. Womp womp. Okay, so we'll
at
just
least
do
we
it
figured
this way.
out now, as opposed to like having written all the code and then we're like, whoop.
Yeah. So let's do this. We'll do it. We'll do it this way, and then we can do like a. Actually, I can just do this.
Yes, you could do something like that. I think that'd be all right.
This one. Okay, so that still works, and that'll deploy, I think.
Yeah, someone in the chat had suggested that is also like an alternative, and like that's totally valid. But I'm also here for it. No, whatever the word is.
Nullish coalescing.
I love it.
Yeah. So, Chris, that's a good point. AWS does support Node 14, so we just need to figure out. And honestly, it might be one of those things where it does work and I'm holding it wrong. That is a very realistic
environment variables.
There we go.
It could be all sorts of things.
It's doing the thing, y'all. Okay,
Woohoo!
so we've got a deployed function that would, we could drop this in now as an event sub and it would get fired. It wouldn't do anything because it's not actually like detecting stuff, but it would tell us our event type theoretically.
We could do that. That is true.
So if you were going to do this, how would you start? Like, would you go straight to Twitch, or is there a way to do it locally? How do you kind of work this flow?
I think for me, I try to do as much as I can locally. Okay. And so Adrian actually mentions it in the chat, which is exactly what I was going to go towards. And that is going to use the Twitch CLI. So like
CLI.
Not only are we going to have like local development where we're going to be able to do like our local tests, we can actually say like, cool, let's use the Twitch CLI to actually do all of this for us, such as like mocking events that are going to be sent to us.
Okay. So I think...
I forgot. I should have told you that I
should have done this ahead of time.
No,
okay.
That's my fault. I forgot, installation step.
Oh, what is that? Don't you yell at me.
We're just going to let it happen.
Okay. Well, if this doesn't work, we might just have to do it the hard way. Let's find out. Let's do Twitch.
Come on, little compooper.
Come on, little compooper. Hey! It did it. It did the thing.
Woo-hoo.
Okay, I'm ready. So then I probably need to configure.
Yes. So that
Twitch. This is cool. This is cool.
Yes, you can go to the configure, and it's going to take things like a client ID and a client secret. So in the Twitch, whatchamacallits.
Like what is it? Dev? Is it Twitch developers or dev.Twitch?
Dev.Twitch.
Okay, so let's go to dev.twitch. I'm going to do this off screen just in case. Can't remember if I'm...
We don't need to do the trigger. We need them for the trigger. I wonder
you don't need them?
For the specifically for the trigger event.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to remember. There is like a case where I needed to have done a specific step. It'll be fine. It'll be all right. This is fine. This is fine. We're gonna try to just do the event to subscription trigger event. So here you can say like specify what is the web server that you want to be going to, which you already found. You would pass in the forwarding address. We'll also just need to.
Okay, so if I take this,
yes,
and I come back to this Twitch CLI, so I should be able to run Twitch event, and then one of these commands, -f, and our function.
Yes, a long thing to write out, but we'll do things.
Okay, so let's try it. So Twitch event subscribe f there.
Yes, I don't know if we'll see it directly inside of your browser, or if we need to do something like
Oh, I wonder if I have to run this in the opposite order, like event-f and then subscribe at the end.
1 second. Pulling it over on my side
Unknown
too.
shorthand. Am I using the wrong version? Maybe I just need to use full forward address. Event. Oops. So it should be Twitch event subscribe, and then let's try the full one. Oh, I didn't call trigger.
Oh,
wait.
Yeah.
Is there an example command in here?
There
event
is,
trigger.
and it's event trigger subscription. Then the flag. Yes, we missed the trigger there.
Okay. Request sent. And it sent all of these details.
Yeah, so we can actually see like this is a particular thing. We did the subscription. Here's like the webhook that we were making our call back to.
Oh, and I did this on the, I don't know why I did this on the live site, but that'll do what we want. And now we should see here in a second. Come on. That is where I ran it, right? Yes, I ran it against this. So we should get... Do I need to run you again? probably need to run this in 2 windows, and let's do it locally instead. So let's run Netlify dev.
Yeah, seeing the value come through. I assume with the data, it would have also outputted like in Netlify logs, like we sent this request back through.
Yeah, so I'm gonna copy this, and then we're gonna go in here and change this one out to localhost.
Yes. 888.
Okay, so running that should execute down here.
Yes.
Response with 200. Oh, I know why. We're not logging anything. We're not.
Okay. I thought that it would output the output of this thing, but that makes sense. So let's just.
I wonder, maybe there's a flag to. Does it say what the result is? From user transport to user.
We could just say the message from the event, so like the body from the event, and we could just output all that.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so let's do a console log body. Let's try that one more time.
And maybe also do the headers.
Okay, so here's our body.
Yes.
Let's get our headers.
At least we know that it came through.
Yeah, I mean that's the big thing, right? Is we've got local debugging working.
Perfect.
So
we love to see it.
Here's our headers, and we've got all this Twitch stuff. So the type is channel subscribe.
Yes.
EventSub message type is notification. That's okay. So this is cool. Yes. Retries, also cool.
Yes. So these are a lot of great things to be looking at when you're like doing the development process, right? So you mentioned before the subscription type. So we can actually see we're doing it specifically for the channel subscribe event. Mm-hmm. So that's like one way to indicate, like if you want, one hook or like one Netlify function that just does a bunch of different types of stuff for you, you can make it so it's listening for these different types of events directly. Would I suggest that? Probably not. But the possibility is endless.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is really exciting though, because like what this means is that anytime somebody, once we set up the subscription, like right now it wouldn't work, but anytime somebody subscribes, I will get this object to a serverless function. And from there, I can update a database. Like somebody asked earlier, I don't remember where it was in the chat scroll, but somebody asked, could you use this to like hook up to an external site? So yes. For example, you could make it so that only Twitch subscribers could access a Discord by having the subscribe and unsubscribe events activate or deactivate their access to things, like change their role so that they could only see like certain channels, right? And so that like you can see how this really starts to drive a lot of big potential.
I love that.
Yeah, so there's some real fun that could be had here, I think. And along with practical uses, you can also use it to like show goofy things on screen or stuff like that. Like, because I've had all these ideas for things that would be fun to do as part of the overlay. Like, we've got this overlay that I keep meaning to make work, and I intend to make this what the event sub triggers. Like, I want it to be when somebody triggers, I want this to happen and then to show their name and say that somebody just subscribed, right? I think that'll be really fun. But I haven't been able to get events or subs working cleanly enough to feel confident turning it on. So this is what I hope we do today, is we get event sub working cleanly enough that I'm like, perfect, we can turn this on now.
We can make it happen.
You could see a 45-second or more delivery on webhook. Okay. I mean, that's mostly okay. I think like if there are places where I could see that being a challenge, but for the vast majority of cases, like even a sub, like if you sub and the pop-up comes a minute later, like it would be cool if it happened faster, but it's not the end of the world if it's a little bit slow, right? So I think that seems reasonable to me.
And like you're already doing a lot of work with regards to like queuing stuff. So I feel like the kind of your processes around like how you want to be managing events already kind of talks to like, I'm not taking direct events, and then also like, so that it goes this way.
I really still doesn't work. I think I need to go clear a cache somewhere. Dang it. But
All right.
okay, so yeah, now we've got local debugging, and if I'm looking in here, we've got a user login, who sent it. There's some good info in here, so we can put quite a bit out. So what if we do? Well, actually, what should we do next? Because I'm going to fall down a rabbit hole if I'm left unattended.
So what I was mentioning before is the first thing we're probably going to want to do is make sure that we're testing that the type that we're receiving is going to be the type notification, because that's going to actually tell us whether or not we have received that particular event, and it's that notification event. There are other types of events that get sent to you, such as like the verification process, which is just to make sure that like the event hook is properly managed and whatnot, as well as that basically to be like, hey, I noticed you have this like subscription thing. Like, let's make sure that you still actually have this endpoint.
Okay. So what I'm doing here is it's basically, it's going to no op if you don't send it a notification. So we don't want errors. Like I don't want to clog up my error logs if somebody tries to spam this function or something. So this will just, okay, yeah, you can call this as many times as you want. I don't care.
So let's just make sure that works.
Okay, so let's do that, and then I can send a different type of event.
Yes.
And that event would be...
Oh, wait. So this specific thing is only testing if we're getting an event from Twitch. Well, I guess this test would still work regardless, right? Is that we're testing any event could still come through, but then we'll do it even more. So we can say like this particular event will only handle this particular action.
Oh, right. Yeah, because we would need to get, in addition to the message type, we also need to get the
subscription type. And we can do that too. We can do that.
Subscription type. And the subscription type. So this is confusing wording, because the subscription type, that is not talking about Twitch subscriptions. That is talking about the event which we have subscribed to. So this one says channel subscribe, but if I change this out for, what's another one? Let's do raid. So we're going to do a raid.
Mm-hmm.
Then it still comes through, but the subscription type is raid. So it's not like, this isn't like subscription type like Prime or Tier 1 or whatever. This is subscription type like this is the event that fired.
Exactly.
Okay, so I can check this then. So we'll head over and say the event type is headers or event type does not equal channel subscribe, because that's what that was.
Yep, exactly. And that's why I mentioned going to the docs, because they're going to say like, what are the actual like key values that you're going to be seeing inside of the subscription type, the event sub subscription type. Nice. So that way you can be like, cool, I only want to handle these particular actions, as well as the docs will tell us like, what is the expected data that you're going to be seeing.
Okay, so now knowing that is what's in place, what should happen is I'm running a subscribe. We should see that one come through. So let's run it.
Yes.
Here's our subscription. Now I'm going to run the raid again, and this should just say got a function responded with 200. Okay.
Yes. I don't know if we're console logging that value, so it might still output everything. But
you're right. You're right. We're console logging after, so we would want to put this like down here to make sure that it's doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's try that one more time.
This is still going to console log everything, I think.
Nope, because we returned up here.
You got me. You're right.
Okay, so now we know it is short circuiting where we want it to short circuit, right? That's so if it's not a channel subscription notification, it will not do anything other than say okay. Good. All right. So now we can do subscription things.
Yes.
Is there more to do locally, or is it time to start looking at how do we get these out of the actual channel?
I think that for the most part, everything locally is done here. For instance, when you mentioned before, like how would I do kind of these like nice interactions with regards to like Discord, or for instance, like how I do my lights, all of the logic that I do with regards to my my subscriptions happens in this like if condition where we basically say like we've done the check to whether or not we have the correct subscription. We've done the work to already know that we're doing a notification. Now is the time that we have the data of the request, and we can do whatever other requests we want to be doing later on.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's kind of as a proof of concept, since I don't have anything to actually integrate with at the moment, let's start by just getting out like somebody's name. And so we'll build like a subscription message. So in our subscription, we have the subscription itself.
Yes.
And then here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it into a document. Ooh. So that I can make it into JSON, and then I can format it.
Do you ever pronounce your name as JSON?
No, actually, the reason I pronounce JSON as JSON is so that it doesn't sound like I'm talking about myself in the third person. I always worry about that. Like, this is some really important JSON here. Okay, so we get the subscription type. And there's conditions, etc. Broadcaster user ID. This seems useful because I would have my broadcaster, and theoretically speaking, somebody could spam this with a spoofed event. And if they didn't have my user ID, which I mean, granted, they could figure this out, and this is not rocket science. But it gives me that little extra something of like, all right, I am I am me. I can show this. This seems useful. Then we get their user login and their username. Do these differ?
I actually don't know if user login and username tend to differ. I don't have a good answer for that. I think that I normally use the username for things and not the user login. But the difference between these like two blocks is that one is to this broadcaster is from this particular other place. Does that make sense? Like one is the group says to broadcaster ID of this person, like Jason, and then the other one's from this broadcaster, this like Twitch user.
Oh, so the from is who subscribed.
Yes.
Oh, and I can tell that by looking at these user IDs.
That's why I just wanted to make sure that was kind of clarified, because there's like 3 lines, but one of them is like, oh, to this person, whereas one is from this person.
Okay, so let's do this with let's do one with like I'm going to subscribe to I'm going to subscribe to your channel.
Oh, I don't even know if it takes my handle. This will be interesting. I am very.
Oh, does it have to be an ID?
I don't know.
The TWID. TWID?
That sounds like Twitch user ID to me.
Yeah, that's how you should say it, right? TWID. Okay, so the ID is the wrong thing to use, but it did come through. So like we can see that the. True. Oh, did I do it as a raid? I did it as a raid. Let me send that one more time so we can see what came through. So if I subscribe, then it's going to show I'll just format this up a little bit so it's easier to read. So I used the wrong thing. So the user ID would like break horribly, but we can see that the user ID, why is that different this time? Broadcaster user ID. This is easier to read. Because the broadcaster, that's who's getting the sub. Is that because I ran a raid? Was the last thing that I copy pasted raid? It was. That's why, because the from broadcaster is who started the raid because they were broadcasting. Okay, all right, so that's my bad. My apologies for getting the wrong thing. This is much clearer. So this is the person who subscribed, and we get their username. And then they subscribe to this channel, which will be the broadcaster username. Perfect. That is exactly what we want. And then we've got a tier. let's not stress about that right now. Let's not deal with
We'll
tiers.
come back to it.
Yeah. So
but it's cool. It also tells you if it's a gift.
Yes, the gift part is really nice. Does it say I wonder if we can figure out who the gift is from. I've always like missed that part of gifting subs, because if you do it anonymously, cool. We want to keep you anonymous. But like, if somebody gifts 10 subs, it'd be kind of cool to be like, holy crap, thank you, because like Chris has done that a couple times. Thank you, Chris Biscardi, for gifting 10 subs. That would be a cool thing to show on screen. So I should look and see how that works. But what we get here is we've got event body. This is gross. Username. I don't love that as a general format here. Let's event body event username.
I think we need event body subscription event.
Okay, so we're gonna just trust that works. I know that's not the right idea. Chris.
Wholesome.
Thank you, Chris. You're the best. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Please spam the hell out of that boop emote now that you've got it. And we'll see. I don't think Cassidoo's here today, which means that I would say your odds of actually burying us in boops are low. Just saying.
Ooh, bold claim. Why do you do this, Jason?
Sometimes you gotta remind the chat. You know, they get a little cocky, and you know, if they don't have an assist from somebody like Cassidy, are they really like? Are you getting carried by Cassidy, chat? That's what I'm asking.
Ooh, they are shots fired today.
Okay, so here. I can, oh my goodness, if I can spell it.
Eventually this text editor is gonna get
let me pull this up so we can actually see it. So so what I'm doing here is we're gonna just like, we'll say the user just subscribed. So I pulled the user out of there. So that means then if I run this again, it's gonna say test user just subscribed.
That's what we like to see.
I got a 500. Did it stop? Cannot read property event of undefined.
Oh, does subscription
Event
in your subscription?
Oh, I know what I did wrong. I forgot to JSON parse.
I had it right in my noggin. As soon as you said it, brain moments happened there where we're just like, we forgot to do the most important part, which is the JSON.parse.
Okay, so now that we've parsed that payload, we can pull out the subscription, and this actually looks a lot less terrible. This is okay. So let's try that one more time. It should be that reloaded. So I'm gonna run this again. It ran through this, I think worked. No, cannot read property username of undefined. Did I mess this up again?
Let's go back to the format. So it says subscription.
So subscription and event are separate things. Fine, that's fine. So we just need to get this. Oh, that's not going to work, is it?
Why not?
Because it would duplicate the name event. So I'm going to call this.
What? Wait, we can just say event : whatever thing.
You're right. We can. So this is the Twitch
Cassidy
event.
showed up. Oh no.
Oh no. All right. Well, here's the thing though. Does it really count? Like, this is a little bit of a Deus Ex Machina here, where chat is really struggling to even get above a third, and then Cassidy just rains from the sky with boops. Oh, geez, here it comes though. All right. Okay. So here's what we ended up doing.
You're gone, Jason. I can't see you. I need to help you out there.
Somebody see if you can get the submarine up above the boops before it's too late.
Someone's help.
Yep, this is I guess the death I deserved.
Boop by death.
Oh, there goes the dumpster.
So when we think about Twitch subscriptions, this is like what we're trying to like make sure to take care of.
Yeah, I guess I should have learned my lesson, because adding more opportunities for the chat to troll me is probably the wrong idea. Thank you for the cheers. I appreciate that. There's Chance. Thank you for the sub. Very much appreciated. We've got a hype train. We're up to level 4. Oh, dang. Woo! I guess when Prince kicks off a hype train with 10 subs, it happens real fast. Just a second here.
We're here for this. We're here for all of this. All of these events are Twitch events that you can be listening for.
So many boops. So many. But today we stress my GP. Yeah, I can hear the fans taking off. Thank you for the sub, Nikki. Very much appreciated. Oh, here we go. Oh, gee. Is that Adrian gifting subs? Oh boy.
We haven't even finished.
We haven't even hooked this thing up yet, y'all.
Wait. We haven't even hooked it up. No, we haven't. Can't even see the logs of all of the subscriptions that have happened. No.
Wait, let me see. I'm back. I'm not.
Hello.
No. Hello. I'm here. Hello. I'm here alive. I'm not a cat. Is that too late? Is that joke dead? That one's like passed into the...
So now it's just learn with Prince. That's the April Fool's joke, is that we're going with learn with Prince now. Sorry.
Did I tell you? Okay, so here's something exciting. I don't know if Ben's in the chat right now, but we are I'm trying an experiment with Ben where I want to be able to take a vacation, but I don't want the show to stop. So we're going to switch it over, and for a week at the end of April, it's going to be Learn with Ben, and he's going to do 2 episodes. I'm really, really excited about it. It's something that I hope goes well, because it's something that I very much want to be able to continue. It's going to be really, really fun. Yeah, we're going to do Learn with Ben. It's going to be amazing.
That's amazing. I love it. I'm here for it.
Go have a nap, Cassidy. You nailed it. Tetris Evolution Boop Extreme. That is correct. All right, so now that we're
back again.
Okay, everybody good? I've riled the chat. We paid the price. Everybody, y'all happy? Y'all tired? Everybody got a beverage. You got to hydrate after an effort like that.
Should we focus up? Should we write some code?
Yeah, we probably should. Okay, let's do exactly that. So now that we know, we can show that somebody subscribed. Yes. I'm going to I should probably deploy this.
Yeah, let's deploy it. We can do it I think that's enough to be able to be deployed. And then what we'll need to do is then make sure.
Sorry, I'm going to log this as well so that we can see it in the Netlify function log, since we're not actually sending it anywhere.
True. And just to confirm, we're still making sure that this is happening in the if, right? That's still happening there.
Yeah. So we short circuit right at the top if it's not a subscribe notification, and so everything below this point will only happen if it's a subscription. So
and Adrian makes a great point. With this particular way, let's not return anything for the body, just because it's already not there's some mechanisms already that's going to happen where it's not going to expect a body.
Is it going to break? Because I don't know if I can do that with Netlify. I might need to just return an empty string as a body. I hope it doesn't break. Let's find out. Because if you don't set a body, then Netlify yells at you.
We'll just try it. Let's just make it happen. Let's just see what happens. And I think empty should be fine.
Okay, so let's hope for the best. So I'm gonna show those subscriptions, and we're gonna push that to get it deployed. That should deploy here in a couple seconds. So let's head over and let's just watch.
And so once we do this, then we're going to need to make sure to actually register our webhook. And so that's the actual step that makes getting the thing live, like the webhook is now onto the internets, but we'll also need to say Twitch, like, hey, this is one you need to be looking for.
Okay, so give me a second to get logged in over here. I need to fix this thing because it won't remember who I am. And that makes me really sad. Do you have a security code? I do have a security code. It is... We're almost there, everybody. And I'm going to remember to check that box to remember this computer. Okay, so I'm authorizing. I'm in TwitchDev. And now I go to, I assume, my console.
I think...
That's right, Xander. It is the Prince Wilson in the house today.
We are here. We're out here enjoying it. I think what we'll need to do, and I'm pulling up the EventSub Twitch once again, is we're going to just need to create the actual subscription through the where are you? I think what we actually want to do is we can actually do this through the API. We're going to need to do a few steps. That's why I'm looking for it. We're going to do one step is we're going to need to go to the dev.twitch.com because we need to get that client ID from the whatchamacallits.
So I need to create an application?
Yes. A few of parts of this need to happen in there. We'll just register application. We'll just make it go in there. I have no good names for it. Oh, look at you already having the good names on.
Yeah, we'll try, right? Do I need a redirect URL?
Later on, I would recommend having just the HTTP localhost 3000. The reason for that is because you might do something where like you need to get your OAuth token, and it automatically is wired so that way when you do need to get that OAuth token, it'll look for that and it'll just do it for you. So my recommendation is for your OAuth redirect URL, just put a good old HTTP localhost 3000.
Oh my God, this is a hard one. What do you think, Chad? Is that a fire hydrant? I'm gonna say no. If I can't tell, the bot can't tell, right? Well, if I can't tell, yeah, then that's over for us. Are you done? That's a fire hydrant. This is a hard game.
Oh, is it one of those where you have to click verify when none of them are left? Oh, those are the worst.
I don't think I've ever seen that one before. Okay, other details. Do I need other things?
The only other thing you'll need is in the OAuth redirect URLs, you're going to want to put the localhost 3000 there. At least.
Okay, so let's just start there. That should be fine.
Wait, I want specifically localhost 3000, actually. Like, not just
3000.
Yes.
Okay.
The reason for that is specifically for like when they do the configuration, there's like one step inside of there.
What don't you like? Hello? I'm not a robot. Order details.
I would maybe just write something up. Yeah.
I'm learning.
Oh, interesting, huh? I have never.
This is very bad. Watch, this is going to disappear.
Oh, you chose category. Gotta
contextually group. No! Oh, no. They're on to me. I'm a robot. Okay. Anybody see any fire hydrants I don't see?
Yes, the one in the center.
Oh, my God.
And that's just not something I'm willing to do.
Oh boy.
All right, Jason. So are you a robot?
Apparently. Okay, I'm clicking that button before it goes. No. To manage it, my email is verified. What does that mean?
Are you logged in under Learn with Jason or?
No, I'm logged in as me. Why would you? Don't give me that. Come on, y'all. How do I switch organization? Am I under a different? That's okay. So that's Streamblitz, but I don't want to put it under Streamblitz. Hello? How do I get back?
Back button?
Console, register. Oh, this is hurting. What about this? Can I just use this one because it works?
Yeah, let's just that's fine.
Don't make me do stuff. What is?
We don't need anything. We just need the client ID, I think.
We just need the client ID.
Yes.
Okay, let's go back over here and figure out access token. Okay.
Oh, we might need.
When creating a subscription, you must specify a secret. Create a subscription.
Yes. So the secret, this is what I was mentioning before about the verification process. And so like if
Okay.
you're like a viewer who's been watching, we haven't done everything that you need to be doing with regards to Twitch event subs for terms of security. There's two kind of things that you want to be thinking about. One is, are we actually receiving it from Twitch? You need to make sure like, hey, this thing is actually from Twitch. And so you'll have a secret that you will agree upon with regards to the verification text. So that way, when you're getting any kind of event, you'll know like, hey, this is actually coming from Twitch, not somebody who's like spoofing as Twitch.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so to create a subscription, I'm going to run a post. Ooh, so now I can look at the CLI and figure out how we do that.
Yes, you can do that. I think they have like API, and then you just use like the slashes. So you would do something like Twitch API post, and then like event / this, and then you'll send over the JSON body.
Whoa, that is a lot.
Yeah, that's if you want, you can use like a curl request or something like, like Postman.
No, they should be able to figure this out. Let's look at what the arguments are here. I think I can do this. So we're sending in. Well, and we'll find out.
All right, let's make it.
Is there an event? They don't talk about that, do they? I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it and see if I can make it work. So we're going to requires a logged in token from the token command. If I run token, is it going to show it on the terminal?
I think so.
Okay, let me try this off screen then to verify. So I'm going to go out here.
Yes, and it might ask you for the client ID and the client secret. And then we're probably going to need that client ID, client secret from later on.
Okay. Client ID, whether or not to fetch a user token. Is that what I needed? Allows the user, requires a logged in token. No, it's an app token, right?
Yes, it's just an app token.
Okay, so I need to get Twitch token.
App so it should just token. It should just be Twitch token.
Okay, so I'm going to run this. I'm going to run it off screen, and we're going to find out what happens.
Yes. And I already know what you're saying here, Adrian. This is why I was like, oh, we're going to do some steps here, but we need the token for the request. The user token specifically is for allowing subscription notifications. That's what I messed up on my stream.
Okay.
I already got all those steps. You're already out there.
This is going to break my website, isn't it? Crap, it is. How do I need a new one. But let me have.
Let's try it. Let's just try it one more time. Let's see what happens. Let's do not category other.
Yeah. So we need HTTP, localhost. I'm going to leave the port off.
Yeah,
maybe that was an issue.
Can we add one with the port on?
Add one with the port on?
Like the localhost 3000?
Yes, I think. I was looking at the other one and it didn't have.
Yeah. I don't know why that one didn't. Can you add a slash at the end of it?
Slash?
I don't think I'll remember, but.
Okay, so I'm going to start there. Organization none.
Yeah. Here we
bus.
go.
Okay, bus.
Yeah.
Buses are easy. Buses are way easier than fire hydrants.
Specifically, the reason why we wanted to do the 3000 is for when the API, the client, does a thing.
Why don't you think my email is verified? Like, what is up with that? And I'm looking at my email. There is no...
Peculiar.
Come on, y'all.
It might not be in the stars.
This is okay. So let me try this. I guess let's look at. Wait, I'm logged in over here. Maybe I can try to verify my email address on this side.
Okay.
Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can figure literally anything out. Let's try. Verify. Check your inbox. Oh, so they just invalidated my email at some point. That's fun. Okay, so I'm going to enter this verification code. Where is that? That's clearly not what it is. Okay, so that is now verified. What does that sound?
Is that Twitch like dashboard?
What are you doing, computer? Why?
Whoa.
Why are
Okay,
you like
that
this?
That was not what I expected. All right, that should be fine. All right, now I think, done. Bicycles. This is hard.
Even worse.
Oh boy, bicycle. They're just never gonna let me out. Do the thing. Thank you. Oh please. All right. So now I can. I'm gonna pull this off screen because I believe it has the secret in it the first time I look.
Yes.
Okay. So now I have a client ID over here. I'm going to end this. Run Twitch token again.
Yep.
Oh wait, I need to
prompt you.
Twitch config.
Yeah.
I put in the wrong client ID now, so I have to. There we go.
Yeah. So
Client
what
secret.
Jason's going to be doing is going to be doing like Twitch config which is inside of the Twitch CLI, and that's basically going to take in his client ID, his client secret, and when we run the Twitch token, that will give him an app access token. And so the app access token is what we're going to need to send a request with, so that we can do the actual, like, here is integration with our own webhook. Now, a point was brought up by Adrian earlier, which was we needed to do some user token as well. And the reason for that is there's an authorization process by which Twitch does for depending on the different types of events that you do. So the reason why we did the HTTP localhost 3000 is specifically when you try to request the user app token in the Twitch CLI, it's actually going to use that redirect URL, so that way you can get the correct scopes that you need to. So we're going to actually need to say, like, get these particular scopes.
Okay. So I need to use the EventSub here. Let's see. I have this. This one
Now-
is emptied. Do these not combine anymore? Help.
Oh, no.
It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So then I need to run, like, I need to get a Twitch user token.
Yes. So this is the user app token. So if you go back to the docs of that Twitch CLI, we had here where it says user token. So by default, what it's going to do is it's going to assume that you want the app token. And so we put in this flag for user token, and we are also going to pass in different scopes for that user token. And so that I think the scope that we need to do is channel read subscription. I'm going to look for that. Information is everywhere, so that's why we're going to make sure. Oh, I ended up when I wrote Twitch scope inside of Google, there is apparently a scope channel. So that is not what we're looking for.
Mhm.
Not quite.
Wait, they don't have like a.
It's
They
not
don't
on
just
that
say
page.
what this. They don't just say in order to create a scope you need to have this or this. Cool, it's fine.
So this is one of those things I learned live, where I was like, I don't know why it's doing these things. And so there's a page for authentication. And so authentication has all of these scopes that you're doing inside of there. So you can go to like dev.twitch.tv/docs/authentication, and that's actually what will have it. But I'm just looking for it now, and I'm looking for subscriptions. Yeah, that's the one. No, that's not the one. That's
Types of tokens.
redemptions. Oh, there it is. It says channel read subscriptions. That's what I said before. Cool.
So channel read subscriptions like that.
Yeah, so it should be channel : read : subscriptions. Perfect.
Okay, so I'm gonna run this off screen so that it doesn't.
Yeah, it might need to do it in strings for the scopes, but.
Oh no. It needs a redirect URI to do the token.
Let's go back to your dev platform again, just to make sure that we put in the localhost 3000 in there, and maybe let's put that first instead. Because this is what I was mentioning before. Is
what
like
if I just remove that one? How about that?
It's probably going to ask you to do.
Oh my god.
Oh, this one is just click on the ones.
Yeah, maybe they learned that like please help anyone, Bueller.
And so this is where it does the redirect part.
Let's try this one more time. Going to run the subscriptions.
And this is what I was mentioning before, is the Twitch CLI is configured to already be your redirect URI.
Got it.
And so it's going to say like, cool, we need this particular authorization. And it doesn't even actually consume this token. It just needs to be given permission that you can do these things. And that's the reason why.
Got it.
And that's only specifically because we're not using the user app token for anything beyond just like, we are giving it permissions. This application has permissions to do these things.
Okay, but it didn't do it. Like it's still sitting. Was it supposed to finish?
And you press continue already?
Yeah. Let's try it again. Okay, so it opens up this window here.
Yes.
Hit continue. Feel free. Oh wait, error redirect mismatch. Parameter redirect. URI does not match registered URI. What?
Localhost 3000 has this.
No.
That should have worked.
That should have worked. So maybe it needs.
Just so you know, we're also seeing your stream manager in case you don't want that.
Oh, I don't mind. But that also probably shouldn't be. That's not the one that we want over here. I don't.
Did the save?
Yeah, so this is saved. It's not.
It says random test. God forbid. Let's remove the slash at the end. God forbid.
So excited to do another one of these. Oh, good! It's my favorite. Yeah, I think so. I don't know why I'm so bad at these. All right, one more time. One more time we're trying this. We're going to run...
Fingers crossed.
Twitch token. That's the one we need. That's the one we need. Okay, so I'm going to authorize it.
Yeah, the add button is deceptive. It makes it sound like you're adding that particular URL, but in fact, what it's doing is saying, add another one.
Okay, so now that I've done that, I have a user token. I'm going to close this browser window, and we are now ready to do the next thing, which is make this request.
Yes, I'm gonna remind you that we should maybe put it somewhere just in case if we need it. I don't think we do.
I've got it off screen here, so
cool. So we'll need that to have happened. You'll also, let's use the application, the app token instead. So we'll just say Twitch token, and we'll use that value when it says bearer token.
When we do bearer token, okay.
Yes.
So in the interest of doing this quickly, I'm going to use Postman.
Yes.
And I think Postman will let me hide these values, which will also mean that I can do it on screen. I think.
Yes.
We'll find out.
I know it lets you fill it in. I don't know if you can have like different windows that basically say like, here's the value.
Okay, so to get our subscription, I need to post. Can I do authorization? No, not now. Can I make you secret? That's the part I'm curious about. So if I go authorization, and then the value here is bearer, you won't make this into a... No? What is happening? No, I want you to be a password though, like a secret. Secret. No, no way to do that.
What about at the top right where you have like the little eyeball? Right there. Yeah. What does that do? Oh, that's just environment. Oh, your database.
Oh boy, I think my computer just ran out of memory. Is what I think happened.
This the GPU is coming through.
Yeah. Here we go. Global variables, environment variables. I don't know how to do these though. Oh, we're out of time. Okay, how about this? I'm gonna run this off. I'm gonna run this off screen instead.
Yeah, let's just make that happen.
Okay, so I'm gonna get all the things that I need except for the access token, and then we'll figure the rest out.
Come on, little complooper.
Yes.
So here's our authentication. I need to go back to.
So we're gonna look for that post request. We're going to make a post to, I think, not that. Wait,
Post
this one.
Creator
Wait,
here.
you right
Creator.
there. Yeah, that's.
So we're going to post to this one. All right, so I'm over here. I am starting out by posting there. I need to send in a
client ID.
Client ID.
Yep.
My client ID matches my Twitch thingy here, right?
Correct. Exactly. That one is the clearest one. It is the one that we want there.
Okay. Then I need authorization, and I've got a bearer, and I'm going to drop in that app token.
Yes.
And then I've got content type, which is not in here yet. So we'll say
I would add it. Yeah.
Content type.
Yep. Perfect.
Do application JSON. Okay.
JSON.
So I'm going to move this off screen.
Yep. And then you'll have the example here that says like type is for the channel, follow for the version. You can basically do almost all of these things. But if we're doing these for the subscription type, we're going to need a different object for what we send to make the request.
Okay. My computer has decided that it's going to make me force quit some things, so I'm doing that really quickly.
Go for it. While you do that, I'm just hanging out, you know.
I'm going to send this. Did I get a response?
It should send a response back to you saying like it has done this thing. So like when you send over the request, it's supposed to be like, boom, you have done this thing. It should be verified for you.
Okay. I am. What? Okay. What is up? Why are you like this? I'm pulling all this stuff. So the authorization header is down there. I'm just hiding it.
So then in our body, we have to send data.
In our body, we have to send data.
Yes. That's what I was mentioning before. So
that's just me messing up. Okay.
You're fine. Can I send you something? Can I send you a link? Is that a doable thing I could do?
Yeah, throw it into Discord chat. That's the easiest place for me to copy paste.
Perfect. Boop, boop. Hopefully that is working. My Discord is loading.
Okay, so I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Here we go.
This is free. You can share that kind of link. So this particular link that I just sent to Jason is what we're actually going to be looking at specifically for the channel subscription. So that says follow on your side. I don't know why it says follow on your side. It should be further down. So channel subscription webhook example. The subscription is the one that's just not gonna be good.
Here.
Yes, exactly. So that's the one. That's the JSON body that we're gonna send. You're gonna see the type is gonna be fine. The only thing we need to change are the conditions because we need to use your user ID and then the method. The callback is what we'll change as well. So you'll use the production link there.
All right, and my user ID is, I know this from somewhere. My user ID in the CLI, I can probably get this.
Oh, I think so.
It's probably an easy way
might
to
have
do this. Yes, this is the one that I want. So if I just go to here, for criminy sake,
it's gonna need your auth token, unfortunately, for that.
and that's
I think
token.
let's do Twitch API get user, and I think we can do it that way.
Just Twitch API get user.
Yes, we just need to be able to figure out how to pass in your user login there.
Not found. I exist.
Well, it
Twitch
doesn't.
API.
It's gonna need to. I think it's probably just like a flag that we'll probably send in. So let's do query string, and so let's do users, then dash q, and then say user, or just login equals Jason Langsdorff. Yeah.
Is it a capital Q?
Nope, it should be lowercase, and the login and the equal needs to be together.
Oh,
The login and
that's the
equals
one.
Jason.
That's the one. So here's our user ID. So I'm gonna
Boom.
broadcast our ID. Okay. I'm gonna send it. Why don't you want to send this event? Like it's a good event. Hello?
I don't know if it's responding because it's not.
It's like, yeah, it's not like sending it is the problem that I'm having. Let me pull this off and look at the headers one more time.
Because it's not even like
get the content length out of there, get the host out of there, get the user agent connection, get all those out of there. That makes no difference whatsoever. It's like Postman is just straight up rebelled on me. It doesn't want to send it at all.
We're like right there. It's okay.
Okay, so
I know that we can also use things like the CLI, but sometimes the formatting is like really challenging to use specifically live. So it's sometimes easier to use something like Postman.
Yeah, that was why I was hoping to use not this, but we're just gonna make that work. So it's all one line. I'm gonna throw that in here. And then I need to send in headers. And so my first header is good.
You got an ending stampede.
Let's go. All right, so the first header is going to be client. Is this going to work? I hope this works. Client ID. And then we're going to drop in this value. And then I need content type application JSON, and then the last one will be authorization, and we're going to send in bearer and a value that I'm going to copy paste off screen. So let's try this, get it in there.
If not, we have one more suggestion that we have from the chat, and we can take it from there.
Okay, we may not have time for any more suggestions.
That's fine.
Secret must be between 10 and 100 characters.
Just I think in the object you have like secret as a key there, and that secret, let's just make it a bunch of characters. Like we don't even need to have that value yet. But when you're like making the actual secret happen with regards to Twitch, you need to know what this value is, so that way it's between a certain length. They specifically make sure that you don't just copy paste their example directly in.
I have done something wrong here. There's a typo somewhere in here that's causing issues, and it's not accepting this request. And we are out of time. So here's what I'm going to do. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm just sad. I just wanted this to work.
I don't think you should be sad whatsoever. We already confirmed that our hook already works. We made sure to do it tested locally with Netlify, which is amazing, right? Like we did that with a Netlify dev server. We also did that using the Twitch CLI. And all the only thing that we need to be able to do is then make sure that our subscription is there. And that's like, it's pretty much doing the one step there. And, you know, like all the other steps before that were so important.
And the step that is really like, if we fire that command and like get it to execute. So I don't know why the world was conspiring against us being able to actually run that command. But once we run that command, we'll get back and like you have an active event sub, right? And then from that point, anytime it runs, that function gets called.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
And we've confirmed every other step of the way that this works. And to be honest, that part is incredibly challenging. Doing this part is like the last 10%.
Yeah. So with that being said, make sure you go and follow Prince. We will get this running and you'll be able to see the working code. Remember, we've had live captioning this whole time. We've had Rachel hanging out with us from Whitecoat. Thank you so much, Rachel. And that's made possible by Netlify, Fauna, Auth0, and Hasura, who all pitch in to make this show more accessible to more people. Prince, is there anywhere else people should go that we haven't shown them already today?
The things that you've shown with regards to Twitter, I also do Twitch streaming where I do a bunch of stuff like that. You can find me at prince.dev/Twitch. Makes it much easier. You already showed that. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Let's get in there. All right, everybody go follow Prince. Make sure you get in on those streams. And also, if you want to hang out with us, a good place to go is the Party Corgi Discord. So let me drop a link to that. It's a great place to come hang out, a really supportive community of people who are just doing fun stuff together. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. We're going to go find somebody to raid. Prince, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. This was an absolute blast. We will, we'll see you next time, y'all.
Bye.